Προχωράμε. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zoi Nivolianito. I come from Demokritos, which is one of the biggest research centers in Athens, Greece. My specialty is, let's say, my discipline is chemical engineering and mainly risk assessment of chemical plants. Today I'm going to speak about hazardous industrial waste in the European Union and how this issue is dealt from the point of view of legislation. And why are we concerned about hazardous waste? Because obviously it is more dangerous than common waste. And nowadays, owing to the big variety of chemicals that we are using also in our household uh, every in not only in the industries, the risk of producing hazardous waste is always increased. The European Union felt that they had to produce, to take care of this matter, and this has been early done in the 2000s when year 2000 when a study was ordered to a private company to to collect information of hazardous household waste, namely those waste that could create problem if they went to the solid municipal waste management, either as landfilling or incineration or even composting. This study comprised the 14 members of the EU at the time, at the 2000, together with the two accession countries, Hungary and Romania. And the people who did the study realized that in each country there were very different, many different ways in treating those waste streams. In fact, this study did not cover batteries or waste oils or waste of electrical and electronic equipment at the time. However, it constituted the preamble of the so-called Waste Framework Directive, which came in power, uh, sorry, like that, in year 2008 under the name the Waste Framework Directive number 19 of the European legislation, which has been amended since then with the Directive 851 of year 218. The aim of this series of directives is to improve the overall environmental outcome of waste management in line with the waste hierarchy and the implementation of the principle the polluter pays. In fact, they want to follow the life of a dangerous chemical and afterwards hazardous waste from cradle to grave, as they say, to to make liable both the producer of chemical of dangerous chemical, but also the users and the ones who create finally waste, and be monitored to label constantly to monitor all the, let's say, the life cycle of this substance. This directive has been backed up, let's say, by a list of the properties of hazardous waste, which was already listed in Directive 532 of 2000, and helped by the decision 573 of 2001, also with list of waste. In fact, the member states have the obligation to present two kinds of reports. One, on the one hand, report a yearly, almost annual or biannual report on the management of the various streams of waste and how this is tackled within each member country. And then three annual report were based on a questionnaire produced by the administration of the European Union, to where it is reported how the implementation of this directive is going in each member state. After that, the Commission itself produces a compound report with the status of this management all over Europe. At this point, it should be noted that the European Union is a place with very much respect to the environment. Actually, we're enjoying best quality water all over the world, practically. And 18% of our landscape has been characterized as Natura, that is, as protected areas, with a very strict control regarding pollution. So, hazardous waste treatment, I will just detail a bit how this directive was implemented in the Greek legislative body. This has been done in 2012 by the Greek law 4042. A very important law which sets the scope, the definition of the waste hierarchy, the permits that each company or even association need to have in order to process, transport, and finally dispose of the chemical of the hazardous chemicals, and of course the liability and the responsibility. Who is responsible for the creation of pollution? This has been done with a series of laws like the one in 2010 and the joint ministerial decrees. And it also foresees the foundation of union societies within the district, the municipalities, but also the district. Actually, it is the municipality that is responsible for the management of hazardous waste, together with the districts. However, let's say the wastes are have several streams. We speak not only of household waste, we also speak of hospital dangerous waste, um, which are done through sanitation or incineration. And with the relative legislation, the creation of public-private partnership were prescribed, so that the dealing of, let's say, the processing and the transport of hazardous material is not only a public obligation, but can be done also by private companies, as there is some kind of benefit also in the processing of waste, as we all know. One obvious byproduct, let's say, of waste is, for instance, biomethanol, the creation of energy. In fact, at the time, they had, the decade 2000, 2010, they estimated the cost of processing hazardous waste between 15 and 45 euros per ton. The 15 is for the urban areas where the collection and processing is easier. The 45 for the rural areas. At the time, no landfill tax, and still there is no landfill tax for solid waste. However, the WFD, the Water Framework Directive, sets a series of actions before arriving to the disposal. They promote the prevention, they promote the recycling of material. They also promote the use of hazardous waste to the creation of other type of, like energy, let's say, recovery. And the last point should be the disposal. In fact, no, this is back, this is forward. There is an alternative waste management system in place, not only in Greece, I suppose also in other countries, for a series of special waste like the old vehicles, like the waste from electrical and electronic equipment, the waste oils, which are retreated and can be reused. The collection of batteries and accumulator for the collection of the rare elements that are in them, the used tires, the inert material, that some of them can be reused either for construction or in industry, and also the use of specific organic, mainly sludges, in agriculture. For all these types of management, let's say, of this waste, there are appropriate ministerial decrees. There is law who foresees how all this procedure has to be done. If this law is broken, the penalties are really severe. So, coming to the conclusions, we would like to say that hazardous waste pose a great risk to the environment, and the human health, and anyway, they require a stricter control regime in every country. In Greece, we have been let's say, we have seen very great disputes among municipalities about the siting of not only of landfills, but also of industries that are processing material waste and also hazardous waste. However, the European directive known as Waste Framework Directive 98 and the amendments of that has been produced to deal with this matter and has been implemented to all European countries. Most member states have extended the duties to comply with Article 14 for the producers, that is, the polluter pays, while in Annex 3 of this directive, there is an extensive list of all the hazardous waste that have to be treated in a special way. Greece has amended also this directive, but however, we see even nowadays that the limitation, for instance, of dangerous chemicals, which has been tried by the European Commission, has been faced with very big criticism and reaction by the chemical industry for obvious reasons. So it is a matter of social consent on how to reduce the chemicals that are dangerous, no matter how useful they are in our everyday life. So with that, I would like to thank you for your attention and call Professor Mastarakis to stop this recording appropriately. Also, of course, if you have any questions, I would be glad also to reply. Of course. It, it is because yes, I mean, especially for dangerous. I know for dangerous chemicals, for instance, from buildings, the companies that are allowed to take them, to remove them from the debris, let's say, of a house, they have to have a special permit to do that, and they have to prove all the where they put them, where they place them, either whether they reuse it or they properly they dump it in a place. They have to prove it in a written. There is a written procedure for that. And in most cases, they show who is breaking the law and is found by the inspectors, the environmental inspectors. It is he's faced with high severe penalties.